everybody, and welcome to Audio Alchemy with Chris Smith, the show where I interview the best and brightest voice actors, singers, podcasters to discover how they turned their glorious voice into the gold that they give us right now. And today I have a fantastic guest right now. He is an actor of stage, theatre, film, and based on voice work of over 20 years, who has done multiple bits of work, including being your favorite games, such as The Young Detective and Total War Rome 2. He is currently starring in on stage, touring the UK in the Fawlty Towers play right now, and most of you probably know his voice. He is the fabulous Kozlowski in the famous fiction podcast, The Amelia Project. Mr. Hemi Yeroham, lovely to have you here, sir.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Now, remember, everybody, if you're listening to this live on lovetobeatradio.co.uk, congrats, you're here. But if you're watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, well, you're just getting it late, because that's just the deal. But, I mean, because also most of you probably think, oh, hey, Chris, aren't you just going through all the entire media project people? I am, and you'll get to the rest of them later. But first, let's talk to you, sir. So, I mean, it's strange to come to you with this just because you are probably a voice actor legend of this caliber. I'd say more than 20 years as a voice actor yourself.
Yeah, bits and pieces, nothing as big and prolific as the Amelia Project. But yeah, a few commercial campaigns and a little cartoon animation for BBC, which was a lot of fun. I always wanted to do cartoons, so when that job came, I was quite thrilled. But yeah, nothing in the scope of the Amelia Project. It's
which I do love, and we will get to the Amelia Project soon. Just to give everyone the highlights, because we're going to go up to date to season 5. So basically, if there's no spoilers for anyone who is listening to this, but we will get to it later. But first, I want to talk about your life and everything else, because you are a fascinating being. So, if I recall, you graduated at the Guildford School of Acting many years ago. What I say many years ago? You're quite young, sir.
It is many years ago. It's
No.
totally.
But what made you sort of want to perform to become an actor yourself?
I don't know. That was very present from a very early age, just wanting to perform. And I mean, I don't know if you go deep psychoanalytical route. I don't know, just wanting to be seen, maybe wanting to. I like telling stories is part of it, I think. Um, I used to read a lot of books, used to watch a lot of stuff when I was growing up. So wanting to be a part of that tradition of telling stories, I guess. Um,
Well, in
because
the
it was so
nature,
important to me when I was growing up.
when the nature of Kozlowski himself, I'm asking you to tell me your story right now. But I guess I want to ask this. So you graduated, and like you said, doing big pieces of work. But what would you say was like? What would you say was like the first job as an actor you got where you were like, oh damn, this is the first job I'm getting. I was like, I'm an actual professional actor right now.
Um, I think probably first job out of drama school. Uh, it was a thing at the Arcola Theatre in London, and they were doing Seven Deadly Sins, and they needed people um, to. It was like almost like backstage, like background work, but it was like turning up at a theatre every day and doing the job 8 times a week. And seeing how professional actors work and be a part of that. It was amazing. And the piece itself was very well received, if I remember correctly. I mean, it was such a long time ago now. Um, and I thought I just really loved theatre. I think it starts with theatre more than voice work or TV or film, like wanting to be a part of that community of people.
I mean, it'd be safe to say you are a theatre kid, pretty much, because I mean, like yourself, starred in many stage productions, including Shakespeare, which every goddamn actor likes to say, "Oh, I've done my Shakespeare," because I think you did Romeo and Juliet, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It was a long American US tour that was about 10, I think. It was fantastic. And we did Romeo and Juliet and Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So it rotated. One night we would do one, and the other night we would do the other, and then move on to the next place. It was brilliant. And I think to rehearse Shakespeare is fantastic because you have time to go deep into the text and the technique of how to perform it. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. And I played a great part. So that was also great.
I mean, is it sort of comforting because when it's Shakespeare like Romeo and Juliet or even Sherlock Holmes, those are productions where it's like, or at least Romeo and Juliet, you're gonna fill out the audience. Like there's gonna be at least the theater's not gonna be empty. People are gonna want to see it no matter what. Is that comforting to be like, oh, no matter what, people are actually gonna see this?
Yeah, I mean, no actor wants to play to an empty auditorium, and I have also done those shows where there were like two
Oh
people in the
no.
whole auditorium. Yeah. Yeah, I remember a production where it was literally the husband and the son of one of the actresses in the that was the whole audience.
Uh,
And it was quite painful. I remember doing a matinee with two old ladies during Christmas, again at the Arcola Theatre years and years ago. So it does happen. So it's great when audiences turn up because that's why you do theatre. You just want to, whereas something like TV, film, podcast, people tune in whenever they want to and it's there forever. Uh, and sometimes something becomes popular 10 years after you've done it. I'm not in my case, but there's been films where they suddenly become popular years later. Whereas theatre is so immediate, you want people to turn up, you really do. So we were very lucky with those shows, for sure. It was well attended.
well, I mean, especially for you, just but it's just like you've done the West End and Broadway. You've done what a lot of actors have dreamed of, to basically touring both sides of the pond, essentially.
Yeah, I probably off Broadway. Broadway is yet to come, maybe I'd like to think, but the American tour ended with a little off-Broadway run.
I'm still
Uh,
counting that. I'm still counting that. You were near it, you know.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it was lovely. It was great. New York is also such a lovely city to be in, but more so to work in because it's so vibrant and it's such a massive theater scene. I was pinching myself every day thinking, wow, I'm doing a show in New York. And my family came out to see it. It was fantastic. It was a good time. And West End was also a lot of fun because it's just a different kind of exposure. And I think for every actor, you want to have that at least once. Maybe not, the aim isn't to be on West End or Broadway, or maybe it is also. There's nothing wrong with either of those things. But it's also brilliant to be able to do it and have the chance to do that. It's fantastic.
I suppose like, I take it like that in the sense of like when a lot of production in terms of actors who put on stage, they're sometimes very confined to the country that they're in. Like if you're a UK actor on stage, you generally just perform around the UK. It's very difficult, I imagine, to get outside to be able to tour internationally, especially in audiences where like maybe the play that you're in might not receive so well outside. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what the production is. Actually, I'm currently in Fawlty Towers and we were talking, would it tour well in America, we wonder? Could it have life in somewhere like Canada? I know it was very popular in Spain, Sweden. Um, but then there are some plays that's, like you said, very specific to London or a part of the UK. And if you took it outside, it just wouldn't land. It wouldn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, I'd go internationally. I have friends who've done that, or like a few productions currently going to China.
Wow.
Uh, it would be amazing to do something like that.
I mean, had a job where essentially like you taking it because you like to play, but the character you're performing, you're thinking like, how on earth do I perform this guy?
Yeah, I mean, we were we were talking about where Fawlty Towers could go, and I mentioned it's very popular in Spain, and I'm playing a character called Manuel who is Spanish,
Yes.
but he's kind of the clown of the piece a little bit because he's being battered about, and the setup is that he doesn't understand English very well, and how would that work in if we took the show into Spain, for example?
Yeah,
And
I
then,
imagine that might be a little bit strangely received.
yeah, strangely received. And then I spoke to my friend in Spain, and he said Fawlty Towers, when it showed on TV in Spain, the character of Manuel was from Mexico. They changed it to Mexico because he can't be Spanish because it wouldn't
Yeah,
make sense.
wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. So it's interesting how they changed it. And then there was an American adaptation of it, set in America, and Manuel character was from Canada. So it's just madness,
Bounces around.
I guess.
Well, I mean, let's talk about it. So that you've been performing, well, I think since last year. If I believe you've been touring Fawlty Towers for. Has it been since last year you've been touring this?
Oh, yeah, last year we started in September touring. We're
Hmm.
still touring, and we did uh, the West End firstly, maybe 10 months, I
Hmm.
would say, maybe a little bit more than 10 months actually. And then we took a break, did another 3 months of West End, and then started touring. So I've been on it for quite some time. Um,
So you know you should know the character quite well.
I know the character very well,
Yeah.
very, very, very well. He's brilliant. He's a very well um, intentioned. He means well. He wants to do well, but perhaps maybe doesn't have all the skills required to do it,
I suppose
linguistic and otherwise.
the thing I want to ask about, especially with stuff like with Towers, the play, which it sounds brilliant because I've read the reviews. It's fantastic. I wish I could have time to go see when I can. But like when it's a play that's basically on a not just a famous TV show, a well-regarded sitcom of British culture that most people know off by heart. I mean, people know like Basil, they know like Manuel extremely well. Was there pressure, especially in the early days when you were just getting to know the character, to be like, okay, do I do exactly like the TV show, or do I try and put my own spin on it?
Yeah, I mean, that was literally what the challenge was for this part. How do you create something that's well known and people want to come to the show and recognize that character? You can't suddenly go, I'm going to play him French or something like that. You need to kind of, and physicality and vocally, you want to kind of tip your hat to the wonderful Andrew Sachs who created the part for the TV show. But you also don't want to play Andrew Sachs, play Manuel. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a fine line between impersonating an actor playing a character and saluting them and saying, I know what you did, and this is a recognizable character. Um, it kind of fell into place, I think. What my process was, I watched the whole, I think it's 3 seasons or two
Yeah,
seasons actually.
yeah, I
Uh,
think it's like 12 episodes or something like that. It's not
yeah,
that long.
very, very, not at all. So I watched all the episodes in one weekend. I watched all the interviews. I kind of dove in, dived in as much as I could, and then let it settle and kind of forget about it. And there was from the creatives in the room, the directors, they were at no point did they say, oh, well, Andrew Sachs did that, so you should be doing that. There was none of that. So it kind of fell into place and they trusted us and we trusted the process.
I mean, was there a feeling that the creatives were given the vibe of like, we want you to never watch this show before you do you?
Uh, Probably not. I think they also were on the same page. We all understood without talking about it too much that we wanted it to be recognizable, but also we have space to put our own stamp on it. And if we went too far, our director CJ would kind of pull us back gently. And that was the kind of understanding, I think, without talking too much about it. We all understood that that's what we want to do with
Yeah.
this.
Well, I mean, it says a lot. I mean, because you're still touring. How long have you got the tour? Because it's happening on this year, isn't it?
Yeah, we have another 6 months. So we're doing Wolverhampton, Stoke. So next week is Wolverhampton, then Stoke, Birmingham, Bradford, Blackpool.
Ah,
We're going to Torquay where the show is set. So that
ah,
will be a riot, I think, when we get there. I
oh,
hope.
the pressure's going to be on doing it there.
That's right. That's right. I'm really excited about it,
No, I
going to
love that.
Torquay.
Nothing. Well, because I mean, I want to ask you, especially as a stage actor, for someone who's done this a while, but it's like when it's the same character, or it's doing something where it's like you're performing this 8 times a week, or like most of the time for
Yeah.
every single night. I
Yes.
suppose having breaks is nice, but is there like a set limit of like how long you can play a character before you instantly go insane?
Good question, Chris. I'm thinking the same thing myself because it's been quite a long time. I'm like, how long can a human be in this same 2 hour story over and over and over again before you totally lose your mind? I don't know the answer. I guess it changes from person to person. It changes on the weather. It changes on how you wake up that day. Um,
Well, I mean, have you ever had a feeling where it's like going to work, it's like, oh, I have to do this again?
um, Not really, because it's so well loved and it's so well received, and people, like I go to theater and it's still a treat. It's still a thing, I people dress up, people book their tickets in advance, so I want to honor that as much as I can. But I also realistically know that sometimes I can be a little bit on autopilot, I guess. I'm like, I've done this so many times. There are times where I'm a little less engaged and a little more engaged. Whether the audience would know that or not, I don't know because I've done it so many times. But I think it would be a lie for any actor who's done it more than 500 times to say, oh yeah, I'm engaged with it at the same level every single time. It's impossible.
No, I admire that trait. The fact that like yeah, doing the same role like over 500 times, especially the fact you've been doing this now for about 2 years, essentially.
2 years, to be fair, I think.
Yeah, I mean you've had Brexit, but for 2 years, the fact that like no matter what, you still find the role fun is a commendable thing, especially with I suppose I guess is it better the fact that it's a comedy?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it helps when it's comedy. And also, it's so well written. Like, there's this one scene where it's like every line is a joke between Basil and Manuel, and it's like a series of misunderstandings. And every line, it's so well written. If you're just present with it, that's enough for you to have a lot of fun. The challenge with Manuel is actually he doesn't have a lot of scenes. Like, uh, it's all like in and out, come and put a plate of food on someone's table, get hit on the head. So there's not like a big character arc or nothing major happens to him. He doesn't go through a life changing. No, none of the characters really do. It's like a slice in the life of the hotel, kind of thing. Um, yeah, I kind of think that Andrew Sachs says the same thing in his interviews. Like he feels like a big part, but actually there aren't that many scenes because he can't speak the language. He can't have long scenes because he can't converse. So it's him coming on, misunderstanding something, dropping something, putting someone in a wrong place, and then going off stage. I have, I think, 38 or 39 entrances and exits in
Wow.
2 hour play, less than 2 hour play, an hour and 40-minute play. So it's like very fast ins and outs.
I mean, you're definitely getting your steps in. I'll give you that.
I definitely am. I definitely am.
Yeah. So as soon as
It's a
people say like, "Oh,
workout.
yeah, how can I lose weight?" I say, "Definitely, you can."
It's a workout for sure.
I mean, talking language a little bit, in the sense that people, I mean, not that many people might not know this, but you are multilingual. In the sense that you speak multiple languages. There's, I mean, Turkish, British, and Portuguese is what I've got so far. And so it's like, do you speak
So
any more?
those are, I am a British, Turkish, and Portuguese citizen.
Hmm.
Uh, much to my shame, I don't speak Portuguese, but I speak a bit of Spanish, Turkish, and English. Yeah.
I mean, has being able to like write that on your on your rules that you can speak multiple languages helped you a lot?
Um, I wonder, I think people tend to, uh, for stage and screen, I would say people tend to go for looks more than languages. And I have been in situations where they're like, can you say a few lines in this language? And I go, I actually can't speak the language. Oh, but maybe you can just learn these lines. And I've done that definitely for auditions. Like Arabic comes a lot because I think I
Oh,
kind of also fall into the Middle Eastern look category.
oh,
So,
really? Do people have you been assumed that you can speak Arabic?
oh, many times, much more than they assume I can speak Spanish or Italian, let's say. And I have learned those lines in Arabic, in Persian, in Afghan, in Pashto. I've done learned like a few lines for the audition.
Well, I suppose that, like being an actor, is it one of those things just like you might you have to learn lines, but it's like, do you think you can fake it enough?
Well, if I can work with somebody who speaks the language, if they can, I don't know, give me half an hour on two, three lines that I have to speak, I think I can nail that. But if it's like improvising, obviously I can't do that in a language I can't speak, or you know, just like feeling loose with it, I couldn't. But if you give me the lines and sit me down with a native, I don't know if I can pass as a native, but at least I would like to think it would be understandable by someone
I
who
mean,
speaks the language.
I think I've got the answer to this in my head right now. I could be wrong, but just generally asking, and voice actor can count this as well. Has there ever been an accent where you've been told, can you say this and written down, and you're just thinking like, how the hell is this supposed to be said?
Like we had episodes in the Amelia Project where Kozlowski and the interviewer, they are on the sea and they're pirates, and there's this kind of, I am terrible. I can't do it.
In the pirate accent.
I can't do a pirate. I think it's like, I don't know, is it Cornish? I can't, I don't know exactly what the name is. Like, I just can't do that kind of, uh, I just can't. It turns into something really offensive, and I'd rather avoid that.
You could do that. No, but
Yeah.
I'm so happy the fact that like because those were one of the only two I was thinking that are like the hardest ones because I think I asked Alan this as well like that the hardest ones at least for the media project you had to do one was the pirate one but I think another one was like the King Arthur one where you had to speak old English.
Oh, I love that, for example, because we had voice recordings. Again, we had time to kind of study, and the Old English kind of, I could see what words were correlating to in modern language. We had a person, Marty's, our production assistant, tutor, I think, in Germany, joined in the recording. So it was like properly, uh, we gave time to it. We want to get it right. I really enjoyed that process. It was daunting, but I absolutely loved it. But accent, where people go, come on, do an Irish, or come on, do a Scottish. It's like, there's no way. I really need time. And I may not get it also by the end
Still,
of that.
I mean, just going back to the Arabic one, had you is it gone to the point now where it's like you've had to learn so much Arabic for lines where it's like you could hold a conversation?
Probably not hold a conversation, but also Turkish has a lot of Arabic words in it. So sometimes when I hear Arabic people talking, I somehow sense what they're talking about, or I recognize some word, or I remember saying that word for an audition or learning a phrase. It might be a phrase. So
I
yeah, it does. It does. You do become familiar with it, or at least the sounds of the language, like the glottal sounds in Arabic, or
mm,
the uh, kind of Persian sits in a certain place in your mouth. And if I hear people speaking, I go, oh, they're speaking Persian, I know, or Afghani or Pashto in that family, language family. I'm a bit more attuned with it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
If you wish I could learn a language like that. Uh, well, I mean, it's safe to say that you are a comedy guy. It's just like not just into your career, but of everything else. I mean, the fact that you won an award for like in part of a comedy. Is it safe to say that comedy has always been part of your blood? That you tend to like when going for roles, you'll look for the funny ones.
It's funny you say that, Chris, because again, going back to Arabic and Middle Eastern, most of the work I've done has been in like deep, serious political dramas about, I don't know, the Syrian civil war, uh, illegal immigration, asylum seeking. I've played a lot of drug dealers and
Wow.
auditioned for a lot of kebab shop man and drivers and Turkish barbers, mostly in serious things. And very recently, actually, comedy has come up more and more. And I remember saying to my agent, like, please, can I do more comedy? Because that comes naturally. And I only realized that because I've had a chance recently to play comedy.
Oh
But
wow.
before then, it was all kind of serious um, political dramas and,
Well, I
you
mean,
know,
like, what is easier as an actor to sort of perform it? Is it easy? I mean, is it with drama? Is it more straightforward since you're not looking for a laugh? You are just straightforward acting.
um, I think I think it doesn't matter. I think it's more about maybe the content or the material or how well it's written. I think it's maybe different set of skills. Comedy is more about timing and rhythm and working that out with your scene partner. And uh, as in with Fawlty Towers, there isn't much of an arc to the character I play or the story that we convey within the boundaries of the play. Whereas drama tends to have much bigger arc, maybe. Um, so they're kind of different set of skills required to do it well. Um, but I enjoy both. But I also was aware that I was stuck in that kind of, I don't know, after 9/11, and that was the time I was graduating from school. There were all those political
Oh right, so
dramas, plays
those were
about
all
the
the
Middle
work.
East. Yeah, that was the work. And I was like, okay, well, that's the work. That's where I go, and that's fine.
Well, I mean, because you said yourself that like the roles you play, like I've like from Turkish barber to be like a drug dealer to basically be like a villain. Like it's, I mean, not that I say you look for because any actor will look for any work they can. But was there a certain like role where it's like I'll lean more towards that than the other? Like, would you lean more to look to be the bad guy?
I prefer not to be the bad guy. I think I naturally lend myself to softer characters or funnier characters and gentler characters. Um, And I think most of the time we don't have a lot of choice. The job comes and you say yes to it. It would be great to have a life where there's lots of offers coming all the time and you have to choose. And then you can say, actually, I know what I can bring to this character or what I can do with this part. So I'd like to do that. That's why I enjoy Kozlowski a lot because he's so different to anything else I've ever played. And with each episode, I get surprised by it. There was the infamous Phoenix episode. When I first read that, it brought such a whole new side to him, and I wasn't surprised by it, but I learned a new side to him that I wasn't in touch with through the material we had up until that point. So, um, yeah, I think everybody wants to play complex characters, don't they? Everybody wants to be able
Well,
to.
then I'm gonna put you on the spot then, at least for a little bit there. This is like, is there a particular role in the future that you would be like, I wish I could play that?
There's so many. There's so many. I mean, I saw The Producers recently, and that's a show I absolutely love. And I feel like I'd like to play all the. I'd love to play Leo Bloom. I'd like to play Max Bialystock.
I would love to see you play Max Bialystock because
I
he's
would
a
love, love, love. I mean, maybe in the next revival. I don't know. Who
hey,
knows?
we
But
you never know,
you
you
never
never know.
know. MC in Cabaret would be great. I'd love to play Fagin in Oliver. I'm realizing these are all musical theatre reference, but I actually played.
I mean, I did sort of take a big guess, especially looking at your acting career. To be like, oh, he's a theatre kid, is also a musical kid. Like
First and foremost, I would say I trained in musical theatre, but I'm not like a brilliant singer, admittedly. But I love musicals and I love being in musicals if I can. But they're also much more stressful for me than straight plays because it's a whole technique and you have to look after your voice and
well, I
it's
suppose yeah, because I mean, because with musical theatre, because you've done these quite a few of them, but like, what is the difference between just going on stage? Like on stage, you have to project your voice anyway, but then
yeah.
singing into it is a whole other skill. Where it's like you
Oh
have to like
yeah.
really make sure you're in there. Like, is it one of those things like when rehearsing? How much? What percentage of like how far do you go? Is it like 50% of your voice is rehearsal only because you can't go full 100?
Yeah, and uh, I think there's also it becomes a lifestyle. I think when you're in a musical, you can't drink. I don't want to stay out too late. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to do anything because it feels like it can go anytime, and I'm not used to being in musicals. So when I'm in that zone, I want to protect my voice as much as I can. When I did La Cage aux Folles at Regent's Park, it's an open air theatre, so it's ceiling, it has no back walls. So I felt like I was trying to fill that couldn't be filled because it wasn't a room. So
Yeah,
like just before opening, I could hear my voice already going because I was pushing too hard. Whereas all the other seasoned musical theatre people just knew a little bit better how to look after the singing voice.
I suppose that's quite funny. It's just like
Luckily, there was no
no, sorry, it's
go on,
quite funny. That
sorry.
said, you saying that you have a you also have like a schedule to yourself. You have like a thing where you don't drink, you don't go out, especially in like the West End with all people like we're just full of bars with else thinking, oh, you must enjoy that. But like, do you maintain that sort of determination when on stage at all times to be like, no, you have to like, yeah, don't go have fun afterwards, even though you might. It's like from the cast or whatever. It's like trying to be professional as much as you can.
I think especially if I'm in a musical or if I have to sing or if I have a singing audition, definitely it's more to do with when I have to maintain this vocal stamina for singing. I would definitely not go into that. I think easier with a play. We're also mic'd in Fawlty Towers. So I know that we've got technical support if we need to. But definitely if I'm in a setup where I have to sing, I would be very careful.
Well, it's also safe to say that we've talked about stage long enough. You also have done TV and film, which a lot of people might not know. Since that one big one, you were in Mamma Mia, which
I
is
was,
which is a
yeah, it
very
was.
odd film. When I found your IMDb, where I was just like, "Hell, what's he? Kozlowski was in Mamma Mia." What the?
Kozlowski was in Momia. That's a great line. Yeah. Um,
I mean, what was the difference between like being on stage where it's like it's a very tight knit group, like you know the production backstage, you know the actors very well, you know what the whole scenario is going to be because it's confined literally in one building, versus a film production of any kind, or even a TV production where you might not even do anything for a long periods of day, and when you're done, you're done. It's like you have no idea what's going on.
oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember who said this, but some famous film actor or actress said, Screen work is like I get paid to wait around, and on my breaks, I go and do the shooting. And it really does feel like that. I remember with Mamma Mia, especially, it was a long project because we also went in way before shooting started to rehearse the numbers, before the principals came in, and then rehearsed the numbers with the principals. So it was a good maybe couple of months, 3 months before we started shooting, to rehearse. So there was a lot of waiting around, a lot of like you go in hours before you get picked up, hours before turn out where you need to be picked up. Like it was long, it was and quite boring.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah, because I imagine it's with stage, it's fast paced. You are making sure you're doing everything every night, but with TV and film, it is long periods of waiting. But it's like I imagine the fact you stumble on this is some of it must be enjoyable. What's the most enjoyable part about doing these projects?
you mean
It's film.
TV? Yeah. Um, it's a tricky thing. It's so exciting and it's so fast and it's so vast. You're part of something so big. I remember um shooting like a couple of scenes for Doctor Who, and they took us to this building where there was makeup, and that was our green room, which was somebody's house that they had booked because we were filming just outside. And then they said, okay, we're filming now. And we went out, and there was like, I don't know, the whole film set is there. There are like 50, 60 people that you've never met suddenly looking at you. They're technical people, camera people, continuity people, and it's massive. And you don't have time to rehearse, you just go for it. So that instant decision making, which you normally rehearse a play for weeks on end, um, you don't have that luxury on TV and film. So you have to be on your feet and come prepared and make some decisions in the moment with your scene partner who you've only met a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
So that instancy of it, it's quite thrilling.
So I was saying like Doctor Who was one of my favorite shows anyway. So the fact that you were in it, I loved. But I was saying like when it's stage or like an acting role or like in terms of voice roles, there a lot of people will see him, and I imagine you get your friends and family to come see you because they must be proud. But when it's like a film or a TV show like Doctor Who, where millions are going to watch it, is there still a bit of pressure to be like, oh my god, millions are going to watch this?
Um, I mean, the voice is definitely present. I try not to listen to it too much because it's such a paralyzing thing, isn't it? Like, what I'm doing now is gonna be that's it. It's forever. Like how you look that day, or like if your eyes are puffy, or you don't feel secure enough in the work, so you make not so great decisions on the day about how to play the character. There's like the foreverness of it because it's recorded and it's going to be online or available to buy or whatever it is. There is a pressure, and especially with things like Mamma Mia and Doctor Who, there was a sense of like there's a lot of people who watch this all over the world. But at the same time, what can you do about it? You have no other choice
Well, yeah.
than just to say your lines and be in the place they tell you to be and do the job and say the lines and get off the screen, kind of get off the
Well, I
shot,
mean,
out of the shot,
has
you know?
well, I mean, what TV or film job would you say you've done where you were like you were just starstruck, you were just so excited that you were actually on set for this one?
I would say Mamma Mia. I mean, it was also my first screen work. And
That's an achievement. Like a bit first screen work to be that one.
it was insane. And the first thing that was ever shot in Mamma Mia was a scene that was eventually cut from the film, which was between Meryl Streep and four of the boys, one of which was me. So that was the first shot that was ever. She basically comes into where we're sleeping and pours water on us and says, "Wake up! You're late, and we have to, get ready or something." There was a scene like that, and that was the first time there was camera on me, and it's with Meryl Streep and three other boys, and it
Wow.
was just so surreal. And then eventually, that scene is not in the film.
I'm.
Uh,
Is that disheartening, or is it just you were happy that you were just acting with Meryl Streep?
I mean, you can't be precious about those things. I've heard so many stories of like people being cut totally out of a film. You know, their character is cut, and I didn't have a character like that. I was just one of the Greek chorus members. So I'm happy to be in it. And if it made it, great. If it didn't make, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm not upset about it. But I still have that experience of
I mean, yeah, I mean,
like,
like talk about like a name drop. They said that one of your first
it feels a bit
actresses
like a
you worked
name
with was
drop.
Meryl Streep.
It's insane, isn't it? I mean, it was just so surreal, so surreal. And we were shooting it 2007 and I finished drama school at 2004. So I was still kind of, there was still a sense of fresh out of drama school feel to my career and what I'd done so far. So it just felt like, what is going on? What is going on?
Well, I mean,
Um,
it's
yeah,
shown the fact that you have that what started a long career in acting now. I mean, almost just about to be 20 years worth of acting. But one of them, which we should get into a little bit, is your voice work, especially in games where like I mean, you've been in some big games. One of them has been the Prince of Persia, which is a very big franchise that a lot of people love. But like
yes.
when it's like voicing characters in games, it's one of those things where it's just like they don't just ask you to do like one thing. They ask you to do it multiple times, but also like in multiple ways, in multiple different accents or things where it's just like, is there ever times where it's just like working on a video game, especially the amount of lines you're given, where you're just like, guys, enough. I can't be hit about the 15th time and sound differently. What else can you want me to do?
I think that's a really good question. I don't always get to know the people who are directing those sessions in advance. A few times I've worked with the same director, but I kind of always have to assume trust that they hear the difference between take number two and take number 72, and if I'm doing it again and again, I can only do what I can do. So I just give them another version, and they go, okay, bring the fear 5% up, but bring the I don't know, the arrogance a little bit down. So it's like almost like very fine tuning, and you can only respond to it in that moment. If you overthink it, it will go wild and
Well,
it
I
just
mean,
won't
that's the
land.
thing that I love, especially with voice work. Is that voice work a lot of times is being asked to overthink. Because I imagine you have been given directions sometimes where it's like, could you sound more ambivalent? And you're thinking like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, and you have to kind of a little bit like trust that process and switch off that part of like, what does that even mean? But in the moment, I think you just absorb that information a bit like what we talked about with Manuel and watching all the episodes, absorb it and let whatever come out. It's the same process, I think. You kind of hear the direction and respond to it in the moment without overthinking. Because if you do overthink, it really is just, I know myself, it just goes pear-shaped. It just doesn't work. So,
Do you know the differences when you're between like takes 5 and take 55, where it's like, you know what? I
no
sound
idea.
different. Oh, really?
No idea. No, absolutely zero, none. I would
Ah,
just like, I'm just responding to the very last direction that I got. And if they're all the same, they're all the same. If they're all different, that's also great.
I mean, you've done like a good number of games, which one that a lot of people know. I mean, are you a gamer?
I'm not. Last game I played was like Super Mario on Game Boy, I think.
Oh, you can't be a
I'm
classic like
talking,
that.
I'm talking 90s, 1990s. So
So then,
I'm not really a gamer.
is
Um,
it strange that you're that? I mean, do people assume that you are by the amount of work that you have been working on these games?
I don't know. I think maybe sometimes they do. And I think maybe that it's good thing to be a little bit detached from the world so you can approach it with a bit of distance and just think about the character rather than like you said, millions of people might be playing this game, or
Mm,
so many. The scope of it, you can put that aside if you're not in that world.
mm.
Um, yeah, no, I'm slightly out of it when it comes to video games.
No, I mean, I guess that's kind of a. I mean, it's just a strange feeling. Was that is no matter what is them working on a video game more pressure?
I think vocally they're quite hard sessions. I have to say they're like it's a strain on the voice. Like I've done things like Total War, and that was like
Yeah,
screaming war cries for like 2 hours
that
non-stop,
that,
and then
that must have
that
been a nightmare on your larynx.
that is insane. I remember like I can taste blood, and the director is going, "Is there any way you can do like 10% more?" I'm like, I'm
No,
bleeding. I mean, I'm worried about permanent damage to my vocal cords at this point.
like, do you want
So,
blood on this mic? Because I can do
yeah,
that.
I can do that. I can taste it. So we're not that far off it. So yeah, I mean, they're really hard in that sense, and like the repetition, like do it again, a little bit more this, a little bit less of this. So they're difficult sessions. But it's work, and it's kind of also we learn a lot on the job how to take direction and how to reflect that, how to produce that vocally, whatever you're hearing.
Well, we should also just because we got like 7 minutes left before the ad break, just to let people know that your voice work isn't just game work and the Amelia Project. You have done multiple other things. You've done ads, you've done audio descriptions, you've done voices for cartoons, which you pointed at the start. Like you are one of those actors where it's just like as you should be. If it's a voice role, you take everything that you can because you have to if
Absolutely.
if you want to stay in the work. You know,
Yeah, I mean, from a totally survival point of view, if you say I can only do commercials, then you're not going to work that much because
no.
there aren't that many commercials. But if as versatile, I think that also applies to acting. Like if you say I only want to do Shakespeare, that's brilliant, but you're missing out on other opportunities. So I've always thought about how wide can I be in what I can offer to the industry, basically, so that I get to work and survive. And I really enjoy work, whether it's commercial or um, I was the Turkish, they've changed it now, but I was the Turkish instructor on EasyJet. So if you flew EasyJet to anywhere in Turkey, I would be telling you to fasten your seatbelt and lower your sight.
No way.
Yeah.
You
And
were
it
the
was
voice of EasyJet in
in
Turkey.
Turkish, in Turkish.
In
But
Turkish.
it's changed now. I flew EasyJet recently and it wasn't my voice, which is good because it's strange to be on a plane.
Yeah, but I mean, there must have been a moment where in your life, did you or anyone you knew just happen to hear yourself on the tannoy and go like, "What the hell? Like, why are
A
you telling me
few
this?
friends got in touch and they were like, "Are you on EasyJet?"
Like,
And my,
are you on this flight?" It's just like,
"Are you on this flight? I can hear you." Yeah.
I mean,
That was a lot of fun. It was like, it's also a nice talking point, I guess, to
what?
say.
Is it also like a weird thing where it's like, in terms of script word, there's a difference between like Netflix transcriptions versus an ad versus a cartoon script. Like, is there sort of like you put on like, okay, I'm putting on my commercial voice now. Like, this is what they want me to do for this. I'm putting on the audio description voice for this. Like, is there certain like jobs where it's like, okay, I know what kind of tone and set they want me to put on.
I think it's more that it's like the energy. So I used to do a lot of promotions for TV channels for children. So saying, oh, coming up next is Ben 10 and his new adventure or whatever, something like that. So that energy will be very different to a calm energy on a plane, telling people to fasten their seatbelts and, take the brace position in case of an emergency. So I try to think, what am I trying to do with my voice? What is the energy and feeling of this voice that they need from me rather than what voice do I need to tap into? Because because that way I think you can be a bit more detailed and you can approach each job as an individual job rather than this is my corporate voice, this is my commercial voice, this is my character voice.
I mean, because looking at your audio description as well, like a lot of the stuff is also you doing the Turkish, essentially doing the Turkish stuff. So is that easier to sort of be like, oh, okay, there's work in Turkish world, or is there more work in English?
There used to be more work in Turkish. I think with internet and people having home studios, it's easy to connect to someone in Turkey, I guess. They don't need to cast that in London. And
Yeah.
therefore it might perhaps it might be a bit cheaper to do it that way as well. And more I'm getting work where I have to speak with an accent. They go, we want a generic accent that's non-specific. We can hear the foreign in the voice, but we don't know where that foreignness comes from. So I
Oh,
get
I
those
didn't know
kind of
that. Whereas like
jobs.
they can't pinpoint like you're somewhere in this region, but not really.
Yes, it could be general Middle Eastern, but we can't tell whether that's Lebanon or Syria or Turkey or Egypt, or they could go somewhere European, but we don't know. And
Uh,
I like the ambiguity of those jobs. Like I love that
Fair enough.
ambiguous element on the.
One last question before we go to the ad break. Just because you've done so many like corporate recordings and ad recordings for like different companies, is there one script where you did it for an ad that has now not left your brain?
Uh, yes. There's like I did something for Fairview Homes. I don't know why, but it had this like very specific music behind it, and it was one of the earlier commercials that I did, and I use it a lot for my voice reel. So I can always hear that music and my own voice on top of it, selling Fairview Homes in Caledonian Road, I think. I mean, I
Wow.
wonder if those, I'm sure those homes are there and like
Oh, yeah.
you know, uh, it was weird. I can always hear that music and what I say. It was for Turkish radio in London,
All
saying
right.
you can buy homes in on Caledonian Road, Fairview Homes, or something like that.
I mean, it's
It's,
interesting that the music is still there though.
yeah, it
Um,
was this very kind of drums and kind of very jolly for how, building commercial.
All right. Well, guys, listening to the radio right now, we're going to go to an ad break now for 5 minutes. Where the next hour we will do what you want and actually talk a lot about the Amelia Project and Kozlowski because that's what people are going to listen to. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's not going to be much of a break. You're just going to skip right to it. But we're going to go to an ad break now for about 5 minutes. So we'll see you all then because also we need to rest because we've just been talking for an hour straight. We'll see you guys in a bit, everyone. Take care. Hello, guys. Hugo. Hey guys, welcome back to Audio Alchemy with Chris Smith, with my special guest. Yeah, my brain just went nuts, and with Mr. Hemi Yeroham. Lovely to have you back here. Um, if you're joining us on the radio, you've missed us for 5 minutes. If you are watching us on YouTube or Spotify, you missed nothing. So we've gone through your stage career, your acting career in terms of stage, TV production, and film. But let's get to the nitty gritty, what everyone wants to know, which is that whilst you have a predominantly well-known voice for many things, one character that most people do know you from is the fabulous Kozlowski from the Amelia Project.
Mm.
So let's safe to say, Kozlowski, tell me your story. How did you get into it? Were you approached? How did Pip and Oyster find you?
Yeah. What good have I done in the world to land such a part? Um, I'm trying to think. So, Ostein writes a lot of plays. I'm sure the fans are aware of that. And I think I was in one of the readings of his plays online with a theatre group called Presence Theatre. And we used to do online. Well, they still do. I just have been out of it for a while, but they used to do play readings online of new writing all over the world. And one week was Oystein's play. And then soon after that, Colin Elwood, who runs Presence Theatre, sent us all an email saying one of our playwright whose play we read not so long ago is looking for um, people who can do voice acting and if you can do a Spanish accent. And I thought, oh, I can do a Spanish accent. This was for another part in the Amelia Project. So I auditioned for that part, that whole plot line about this imaginary South American country and the coup and all of that.
Oh yeah. It's the season 3 plotline, I think.
Season 3, I think, yes.
Which I'm just gonna give a disclaimer to both of us. A lot of episodes of the Amelia Project are out. We're not gonna know individual episode names.
Absolutely not. Absolutely, like my
So,
mind is one jumbled up because also I need to be very careful around what we recorded and what is already out published. So
like I
I
said,
can be very slow in answering some of the questions because I have to track through a lot, and I might also say no comment at times
fair
because
enough.
I'm
Well, that's it. Yeah,
unsure.
because I mean, we know that right now season 5 is done. That's already
Yes.
been out for at least a couple months. So we're going as far as that. I'm not going to ask you about season 6, even though I don't even think it's been written yet. But like, or it might be. I don't know. Well, but I won't go into that because that's going to spoil things. I imagine people in Einstein might shout at you.
Yes, I think that's really a good way to go about it.
Yeah. But I suppose like one thing I heard from people I said, and even Alan pointed out, is that all freedom had about talking about you is that you and the character Kozlowski could not look or be any more different than they could possibly be.
Yeah. Totally. I'm like a very short guy. I'm 5'2.5". When you're that short, the halves
Well,
matter.
just to give people some clarity, like Kozlowski is supposed to be described as like a 6'5" man with tattoos all over his body, and
Well,
for
we're
everyone,
both bald. Maybe that's the only similarity. Both Kozlowski and I are bald. But that's about it. That's where it kind of ends. I don't have a single tattoo on me.
I mean, is it something where it's like, I mean, the Amelia Project has a lot of fans where it's like you go to events or like you go to places where it's like, oh, they meet you. It's like, has there been genuine shock of like, oh, you're Kozlowski?
I think more than the fans, I remember the first time I met Pip and Alan. They were in London and I was doing La Cage aux Folles at the Regent's Park open air theatre, and they came to see the show, and I was genuinely a little bit nervous about meeting them because I looked so wildly different. And I kind of was expecting, and by that point, we'd seen each other on screen, but you don't gauge height, weight, you
No,
don't get a
it's.
sense of that on just a little portrait square in a big screen amongst other squares of people's faces. So I thought, oh my God, I don't know, there was a sense of being an imposter almost. Like I shouldn't be playing Kozlowski, but somehow I get away with it because it started during COVID and online, and we never met in person.
I mean, we should point out the fact, like you said, that with screen stuff, like with the cast of the Amelia Project, you're not all in the same room. You all live in different countries and things, and also you all work so much. So it's like it's a lot of times just you sort of recording your lines in your recording studios by yourself.
I would say maybe 50-50. Actually more so in recent seasons that we try to get together as much as we can
Oh, really?
online.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Sometimes it's really difficult to find the time, and then you record it in your own time. But
Yeah.
we do Zoom calls, and somebody, Julia Morzawa is in LA, I believe. Oystein is in Norway. Pip is in France. Alan is in Austria. I'm in London. So
Yeah, you all are just jumping up everywhere and you're somehow, yeah, meeting each
so
other's hard. Yeah.
yes, it's very, very difficult. And sometimes we get together. Like we had Vienna recordings and a couple of London recordings and a show in London, and that's really nice. It's such a family, and it's such a unique family in the sense that we met online, and I met everybody online. So when we got together for the first time, we had already recorded quite a bit of material.
I suppose what I'm trying to get at is that when those times where it is just you and you have to like record conversations with people that just aren't there,
Yeah.
how difficult is it to gauge the tone of like what you want the mood to be?
It's really hard. I have to say, I don't enjoy them as much as I enjoy the live recordings for obvious reasons, because you're constantly also trying to guess how Alan might have delivered that line. It gets easier because the more you work, the more you understand your scene partners. But there was a sense of like, oh, how could he have delivered? So I'm going to respond as if he put the emphasis on that word, and I'm going to do a take two as if he put the emphasis on that word, or he approached it. You're trying to second guess basically all the time,
Yeah.
and doing as many versions as you can so that Pip, when it comes to editing, has a good response to what's been delivered from somebody else.
Well, I mean, I think one's safe to say with all the characters that what with that the characters have evolved over the time over the years of which you've played. Like when you first started Kozlowski, the way you spoke, the way you voiced him, the way like he is there, sounds different than when you do him now.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
did you have a mindset of like who Kozlowski should sound like at the start?
uh, we did uh, uh, we did talk a lot about it, and I did send a few different recordings of where I think he might land, and I remember Oystein and Pip going, actually, this take, I don't know, number whatever, sounds like it might work. But that happens a lot on long shows. I was watching Schitt's Creek very recently, and I can see character developments there. Season one characters are very different to season four characters. They're much by season four they understand it, and I like that actually. I like seeing that in shows where actors are finding the characters as they play it. Because the more information is available to them on that character
Well,
as you keep recording.
I suppose with you, it must be it must have been harder because I mean, most people who are fans know this. You came in a bit later in the show because Kozlowski doesn't actually speak until I think about season four.
Yeah, I think end of season three he says something.
Yes,
Just
yes. So
one
season
line.
three, but
Well,
then
hello
season
there.
four. But then, like, if you listen to it, like the Kozlowski's been name dropped like throughout the entire show, and then suddenly you're in it as like voicing this character. Was there any bit of pressure to be like, okay, I'm entering this now as like a bit late to the party. Everyone has known their roles, and I'm this new guy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, also like what what am I bringing to the table that can I bring something to the table that is interesting, unexpected, maybe, and also fits everything that's been said about him so far. Everything that we know about him, it lands, but it can also, there might be an element of surprise about this voice, about this man that I can bring. Um, yeah, quite a fair bit of pressure, I would say.
I mean, I imagine that pressure's not there anymore. It's just that right now. I mean, I don't know if you are recording at all right now, but like, if you were asked, oh, could you just do this? You could just do it instantly.
Yeah, I have an easier access to it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It takes, I mean, sometimes I go back and listen a little bit, especially if I know he's got a big story chunk somewhere, so I can kind of tune into it a little bit. And I've also always wondered as an actor how people who play these characters and then they go and do something else and they have to tap back into something they've created previously, how they do it, and if that is at all easy. But for me, if there's been a long break, I try to listen to it a little bit to kind of get to place it in my voice that is natural and isn't too pushed or too performed in a way.
Well, I mean, that's the thing where, so especially in season five, where there are episodes where it's like it's predominantly you like doing the whole story and doing everything else. Whereas like are there moments where it's just like episodes where it's like you and Alan just talking, it's like, oh yes, it's a conversation. Is that fair better when it's ones where it's just you, like, oh god, I have to talk for the whole damn thing?
Oh no, I love those episodes. I mean, very egotistical point of view, maybe. I like having lots of material to record. Um, yeah, I love the stories because they're so well written and really well structured, and they always go somewhere where I don't expect them to go, and there's always an emotional connection with uh, Kozlowski. There's always a relevance to his life. He's always trying to say something. There's always a point he's trying to make. Uh, so they work on so many different levels. I love working on those big chunks of story. I really, really, really do.
I mean, we're going to get to the favorite ones later, but I guess is it strange because you told me before this that you're not really a big podcast guy. You don't really listen to a lot of podcasts.
Not a lot of podcasts, no. I think I get really distracted. I suspect, and who doesn't these
Yeah.
days, but I think I must have a level of ADHD. I get very distracted. So I hear people, oh yeah, when I'm walking, I listen to podcasts. I'm like, I'm so distracting distracted when I'm walking. There's so many things happening. Like I can't tune in to just what I'm hearing. I get distracted by what I see, or other things that I'm hearing, or the cold, or the temperature. I
No,
get.
I just find it funny just because is it strange then that a role that that you are quite well known for now is a podcast. It's just it's
I
also
know, I know, I know.
it's
Again, like the imposter syndrome kicks in, but
I mean, is it safe to say that this is your longest role?
yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Manual and Fawlty Towers is getting close to it, but like,
But also material-wise, I've recorded so much of Kozlowski. I know so much of him. I know so much of his story. Uh, yeah, for sure, Kozlowski,
I
longest.
mean, I mean that must be these feelings. There must you must feel like some kind of ownership of him, you know?
Yeah, but I also trust Pip and Oystein, and I know where they come from. I think I've written a few things. I think I've written a little episode between Hemi and Kozlowski speaking for the 5th year anniversary, and one of the Kozlowski specials I wrote, and they they kind of steered me, and actually he could go this way, and we don't know if he would do that, but maybe he could be doing that. So I still feel like I share the ownership with them 50-50 rather than
Glad you
here's
meant
mine.
I'm glad you mentioned it. The anniversary special where like you basically talk to yourself and you talk to Kozlowski.
It was very strange,
What's
wasn't it?
just funny because like listening to it, I hear how you all change your voices over time. But like when you because I heard this with Alan as well, is like when you have to talk to yourself, you kind of have to go back to your old voices so that you could sound distinctly different. Because
Yeah.
there is a
And
bit
you
of
almost kind of have to heighten your own voice,
yeah.
whatever that means. Oh,
Was like
however
you
you
have to
like
make
to.
yourself sound like very like this is Hemi, this is Kozlowski.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's exactly it. Like, I think I tried to pull both of them in as much extreme as I could without losing the naturalism of it. Um, yeah,
Well, I
it
mean,
was
so
an interesting project.
like you said, you trust Pip and Einstein to sort of know the character Kozlowski as well. But it's safe to say that Kozlowski is a strange being. He is very, very weird. Has there ever is there in all the episodes that you've done, and it doesn't be a particular one, but it's like if you remember it, has there ever been an episode where it's just like you've been given the script and you're just gone, what the hell are you making me say here?
Never, no, I don't remember thinking I can't say that, or like what I like genuinely I've got so much trust and respect for what they do and how they do it. I never question what they've written, I just sometimes go, I have no idea where this is going. Where
Yeah.
is this going? But also, there's another part of me that really knows it's going to land, or that there's something very satisfying about that work, that everything fits into place and it fits in a way that you didn't know that it was going to fit like that. And you go, of course, there's a twist. Of course, there's a, pull of the rug under our feet. But it's also very, very, very satisfying.
I mean, is there a trait of Kozlowski that you yourself sort of added into the character? Be like, can he have this? And Pip's gone like, yeah, sure.
Um, I think it's worked more in the sense that they kind of lent into my Turkishness a little bit.
All right,
They
yes.
brought that in. They kind of, once I was cast in the part, uh, which I think is a really great thing to do, and I'm happy that I could contribute in that sense. That I am from Turkey, I'm from Istanbul, so they wanted to use some of my Turkish and based him in that region in Anatolia or in Phoenicia.
Yes, because I think it goes back to like you said before, like you get a lot of work you have is where it's generic foreign accent. Whereas like even with Kozlowski, whilst Kozlowski has a Turkish origin in Istanbul, it's never really pinpointed that he actually is from a specific. Well, he's not actually from Turkey, I think.
From that region, I would say,
Yeah,
but it wasn't Turkey, it wasn't even Ottoman at the time when he
no,
was, having his
but
adventures, let's say, without giving too much away, in case not everybody is up to date with all the episodes that are out.
well, like
So,
I said to anyone listening to this, we're going towards season 5 has been out for a while. Because if you haven't listened to it, then go go turn this off, listen to it later, and then watch
come
this.
back.
But like,
Yeah,
is there, especially season 5, where it's like the whole point of it, season 5 is that it's you got all around the world in multiple different timelines, the whole sort of thing, especially like go for the ages. Has there what accent were you called upon where it was just like, oh, okay, guess I'm doing that one now.
definitely. I mean, this is not an interesting answer, but the pirate one was like, oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I can't, it's just, and it has come back a few times, like when we flash back to a moment and it was like, oh yeah, this is the pirate. I'm like, no, no, not the pirate. Like I've really struggled with that. And
Do you
I
think it's one
guess
of those things where it's like because they know you don't like it, they'll put it in as much as possible?
I wonder. I mean, I also try not to make too much of it now that if they listen to this interview, they'll know more. But like, I really like something in me goes, oh no, it's coming. It's definitely that one.
Well, if season 6 or later seasons you end up doing more pirate voices, then I apologize because obviously they listen to this.
That's it. That's a whole season based on their pirate adventures might be on the
Oh
make.
my
Who
god!
knows?
But the Amelia Project has got a big fan base. It's one that has been growing for a while now to the point where it's like, I mean, have you been recognized as Kozlowski?
Uh, I think there has been a few instances when somebody recognized my voice in something else, going, "Is this Kozlowski?" I did Neil Gaiman's oh my God, audiobook where I played a storyteller and he was from the Middle East, so there was a sense
The
it was
Sandman?
uh say that again?
The Sandman?
Yes, the Sandman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Uh
trying to remember Manuel Gaiman.
yes, the second audiobook.
All right.
Um, and there's a scene set in the Middle East, and there's a storyteller character, and it was kind of in Kozlovsky's zone because he's telling a story with that kind of dark sound from the Middle East. So I think a few people recognized in Prince of Persia. I think when they make those connections, it truly blows my mind how. And
That's
it's really, it's very flattering for someone to recognize your voice
Oh yeah, I mean you can't be mad at being recognized.
Oh no, no, not at all, not at all. It's so complimentary and so flattering for someone to say, "Oh, I know this whose voice that is." It's incredible.
But has it happened now? Is that because you've done the character for a while now, and there's so much content out there that when it comes to like newer voice work, where you're getting a voice together, have you accidentally gone to Kozlowski where you've been like voice one? I was like, nope, I'm doing him.
I have. That's what you have just said exactly happened because it's also it's become my comfort zone. I know Kozlowski and I can tap into it. I feel comfortable with that zone. So if I'm nervous about something, I think I go to the safety zone of that and I go, oh no, I can't do that actually. Just give me a few moments to find what I want to do with this before committing to this voice.
I
So
mean, I'm
yeah,
just
that's definitely happened.
I'm just having fun where it's like, has Emmanuel accidentally become Kozlowski on stage for like a brief
Can you
minute?
imagine? I mean, they also can't be further away from each other, like
Yes, in terms of
truly.
like, but
Yeah,
that would be just a feat of being like, wow, I didn't know he was going to come here. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's well. I think I find that if I'm trying to be funny in real life, sometimes Manuel comes out because I think I've connected him to funny. So if
which
I
is
want to be funny, I say it in a Manuel voice. It's
yes,
weird.
no, but it's funny because also me like, going back to with Amelia Project, I don't know if it's happened a lot, but they tend with the Kozlowski stories, they tend to give you like the horror ones, the ones where it's like, oh well, this is very serious. Whereas like they tend to give Alan the more goofy ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe that's kind of leaning into who the characters are, interviewer versus Kozlowski, in the sense that kind of I think Kozlowski is really haunted by this one thing that happened to him years
Yeah.
and years ago. And that kind of feels like it shaped him and it still informs some of his choices. So maybe they wanted to ground his character in those stories and his emotional capacity for empathy, for remorse, for uh, vengeance sometimes, even.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, especially if not to give everyone huge spoilers, but in terms of what happens at the end of season five, yes, because that's. I mean, yeah, I mean, I won't go into full details, but I imagine like the end of season five, like I think that the two-parter, yeah, like those are quite emotional. Like those are hard-hitting scenes where you had to like sort of do it. I imagine over Zoom.
I'm trying to think. Uh, I think some of it was over Zoom, and there were sections of it that were in our own time.
I mean, what I'm getting at is it was it very hard to sort of like because you do get very deep in that. Was it very hard to do that essentially in a room by yourself?
Um, Yes and no, because it kind of allows I felt like I could take the time that I needed because I was on my own, but
Okay.
I also didn't have the input of other actors in it. So in certain from a certain angle, yes, it was easier because I could take my time. I didn't have the stress of people waiting for me to connect to it emotionally. But I also didn't I wasn't feeding back on anything that I received from anybody else.
Well, I mean, how much how much feedback do you get now versus to when you first started out as Kozlowski? I mean, because I imagine there's a level of trust there between all of you, no matter what. But like, is there
Hmm.
just a thing where it's like people understand can just give you a script and then leave you alone with it, knowing that you'll do it?
Yeah, there is. I feel that there's a certain element of that, and then sometimes I'll get something back and say, actually, we're going to go in that direction for this section. So, is there a way you can record that, bearing that in mind? So, it may not be as light as I thought it was, or it may not be as serious as I think in very broader terms.
Yeah.
So I might have misjudged it whilst recording on my on what that scene was trying to do or how they want to go with that one
I
particular
mean,
section.
if you can remember the episode, fantastic. But do you know one where you got the most notes?
Uh, I cannot. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. I like I said, there's over 100 episodes of this damn podcast. You try to remember any one of them, I'll be surprised. Getting to the sort of the tail end of this, one thing I have asked everyone is that with any sort of fandom, there comes fan art or like depictions of what they, especially in audio stories, what they expect the character to look like. How many artist interpretations have you seen where they've just essentially drawn you?
Me as Hemi?
You as Kozlowski, yeah, as Kozlowski, where they'll just be like, "Oh, this is Kozlowski," and it's just you.
Um, so you mean the features look like Hemi the actor?
Yeah,
Not many, because I think there's been so many detailed descriptions of what Kozlowski looks like, with his height and tattoos and baldness and age, and there's been some really brilliant, accurate to the descriptions that we've had so far about him, and they do not look like me because we've covered how different I look to Kozlovsky. And I think Alan is quite. I've seen drawings of the interview that actually looks like Alan.
yes.
Um, but because I'm so different to Kozlovsky, there's been some amazing artwork that's come out of it. I mean, there's been a few that I'm with the permission of the artist, I would love to print and frame. Stunning, stunning, beautiful, tender moments. And
I don't think they're going to argue with you in terms of saying, "Can I have your artwork framed for my wall?"
yeah, I mean, it's just beautiful, truly, truly stunning. I actually have a folder of all Amelia Project artworks that Pip sometimes shares on our WhatsApp group and Marty shares on our WhatsApp group. Stunning stuff. And it's always quite, I don't know, I get really moved by it because it means that somebody else was moved by it enough to want to spend time drawing these characters.
Well, because also you've also performed these live because I think I don't like because there was also festivals. There was also an actual show
Yes,
performed live that I think you were part of. Was it was it weird, sort of like being like in front of people performing Kozlowski?
very much so. I wouldn't say weird, but like nerve-wracking for sure. And mainly because, like we talked, A, I don't look like him. B, it feels like, the fans know it so well and inside out. And for us, we record sometimes an episode. We don't always record chronologically, so things
No,
can be
like
very jumbled up in my head.
well, also
Um,
you don't record these like in the week. You record these months ago.
that's it. I don't. I'm always terrified of giving something away that I shouldn't be giving away. So even when you say, "Oh, season 5 is out," I just need to be absolutely sure that what we're talking about is
Oh
at
no,
season five and
I
not
would never
something
like.
season.
No, I
Yeah,
would never
so
put you
it
under the like.
terrifies me to some like all of that,
No, I
truly.
don't. I only made Pip and Ice don't do that because they're the ones who actually make the damn thing and write it. So you know,
That's it.
I mean, like, just to give everyone a little bit of something. Are you at least still recording it?
Yeah, we've got one more recording coming up soon, but I think a big chunk of season 6 is recorded for
Okay.
Kozlowski anyway.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it weird to sort of do that, Andy, on the road, doing performing?
yeah, I mean, it's such a relief because coming back into Kozlovsky once while you're playing a character for so intensely 8 times a week, it's such a relief. It's a totally different zone, it's a different medium. So it's like wonderful to have Kozlovsky to come back to. And we recorded it really intensely because there was the first 12 weeks of the tour, there were lots of locations that were London centric. So I was
Mm.
still in London, but commuting places like Guildford or Wimbledon, Bromley. So Ostan and Pip very kindly tried to make sure all the Kozlowski bits were recorded whilst I was still touring around London and was based in London. So that it became very intense and doing recordings one after another in a very short period of time. And now we're doing a little bit of pickups and some extra things that we're doing
Okay, so I mean
on the
that's it.
road.
There's like the bulk of what you had to do is already done. Now it's just pick up stuff and a little bit extras at the end, which right when you're going on tour is a good timing. But I mean,
Yes.
have there been weeks where it's just like doing backwards and forwards, doing Manuel and then doing Kozlowski, where it's just like, I mean, would you call yourself a workaholic?
Yeah, I love work. I just genuinely love work, and it's such a privilege as a freelance creative or as an actor, as a voiceover actor. It's so wonderful to, like Manuel and Kozlowski, what amazing two parts to play at the same time, and somehow they feel a bit like friends that I get to spend time with, and they're wildly different from each other, and I love them both. And it's like, what else? What else do I want? I mean, with Manuel, I'd love to be able to do another Fawlty Towers play where he gets into other kind of situations. I think the repetitiveness of this can be sometimes challenging, but with Kozlowski, it's new material and I learn new things about him, or I get to tell new stories. And I genuinely am so grateful for it all the time, and especially when the writing is good on both of those projects.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to ask you like which writing do you prefer because that's a double-edged sword that's going to bite you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, do you like wearing jeans or eating oranges kind of question? Not
Yeah,
even oranges and apples. It's like wildly different. And I
but I
think they
suppose.
kind of complement each other somehow.
Oh, oh
In my
yeah,
life, as emotionally, they they reach different parts of me.
yeah. Well, I mean, especially with Kozlowski, in the sense that that is a character that people just absolutely adore and love. And like you said, you have some ownership, but also like Pinocha has some ownership. But it's just like, is there sort of a feeling where it's like playing a character long term? But I say long term, you perform for like 3 years.
Mhm.
Is it easier now where it's just like comparing yourself like jumping into a new role, or is that more like you said, that's your comfort role? Is it more exciting when it's something new?
I think something new is always exciting because there's discovery to be made. It's like, I guess, falling in love. Like when you first meet someone, you kind of fall in love and you're exploring all the possibilities. And at some point, you know who this person is, and there is the comfort that comes with that. So again, there's slightly different things. I love the comfort of knowing who Kozlovsky is, and sometimes we improvise and I know the bits where actually Kozlowski wouldn't say anything, would just
Yeah.
observe this, or this is the bit he would. So that comfort and that familiarity is
Well,
also something you play with.
I mean, do you have is there a certain bit of like improv that we us fans would know where it's like they didn't write that was all just you?
I really can't remember. I sometimes listen to the episodes and I go, I don't actually know if we improvised that or it was in the script.
Well, I mean,
Because it really is such a long time ago, and we have done more recordings after that. The only way of knowing that is to get the script while you're listening to it. If it's not in the script, then you know it's improvised.
yeah,
Um, but we have it's such a great collaborative. Nobody is nobody goes, oh, this is what I wrote. So this is what I improv like is belongs to everybody, whether that's theater or TV or podcast, fiction podcast.
Well, I guess it's different just because, like, especially for you, you are. I mean, with Manuel and Kozlowski, these are two characters that you feel yourself you have some ownership of because of the longevity you played them, versus the people who actually wrote and indented the characters. Where it's like, in terms of like, as a general actor as yourself, who would you say has more ownership? Like when it comes down to the nitty gritty,
Hmm.
is it defined by the writing or defined by how it's played?
I mean, as boring as an answer this is, I think it is 50-50 because
Damn you! I was trying to get a distinctive answer there.
I'm really sorry.
No,
It's
no, I
so
get it.
difficult. I'm like, I mean, the writers obviously are the creators of the character and they are the ones who are writing the words. But the way you play it can be wildly different between two actors. Like somebody else, they could have cast somebody else for Kozlowski, and that Kozlowski would have been very different to my Kozlowski, and then that would land completely differently, even though the lines would be different. And maybe the writers in an ongoing show would write the character differently based on who that actor is. The thing we talked about, the where he comes from and his roots could have been different if they cast somebody from Kenya for Kozlovsky. That could have been different, for example. So on a long running show like this, I think I would say 50-50. Maybe if it was a play, then for that, the character is alive beyond the play, because then there would be lots of different people playing Hamlet, for example.
Yeah.
But Hamlet is
Well, I
mostly
suppose
defined by Shakespeare.
well, I suppose Kozlowski is different in the sense that with Manuel, Andrew Sachs did play hit. There is someone else before you who did play that role. Whereas Kozlowski, there is only you. Like you are that character, and also with there were people in Iceland. They put so much of yourself into this role where it's like you can't distinguish. It's hard to distinguish like how much just like they built the role for you. Like does it did
Yeah,
it?
I mean, we kind of evolved it together, and they took what I could bring on the table on board, which is, I think,
I
it's
mean,
it's it's great. It's
if you
it's a really
could
great.
play another role in the immediate project, who would you want to play?
Ooh, great question.
And it doesn't have to be recurrent. It could be like just specific episodes. Like, oh, I wish like if I could have done that guy or that person, that would have been fantastic.
Oh, it's really. I mean, I would love to be a client. I love the early episodes where it was in every episode there was. I love the Loch Ness monster. I would love. I mean, my Scottish is totally non-existent, but if the Loch Ness monster played, it could not have a Scottish accent and a generic foreign like we talked earlier. Um,
That would be a weird one for to make
it
listening
would
to
be a way
that.
because it's such a quintessential Scottish creation,
Yeah.
let's say. But I remember thinking, listening to that episode and go, wow, you got such license to take this character wherever you like to take
Mm.
in the interpretation.
No, but yeah, it would have been funny. Just like he just comes up with some reason he sounds Turkish or Spanish, just like
Or Italian.
or Italian. It's just like okay, good to know you travelled. You know.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Uh, all right, all right.
Exactly.
It has been fantastic. We got about 10 minutes left, but we're gonna get into the rapid fire questions. So, we could talk for these, but I would like just like an actual finite answer to these as much as you can. So
Sure.
yeah, but I mean, it doesn't have to be short and sweet. It can't be long and winded. But it's like, you know, because I remember
As
with Philip,
quickly as
Philip,
I can.
Philip and Oystein did trick me with this. Was they gave me like multiple answers, which I allow them to because this episode is so long. But we'll get to as much as we can. So let's just. I'll go into these as much as like I'll say like which ones are immediate project, which ones are just generic roles. So for the immediate project, Easiest episode to work on.
Easiest episode, did you say?
Yes. Easiest episode to work on.
I would say The Phoenix.
The Phoenix, really?
Yes, because it felt like I could connect to a, a truth about Kozlowski, an emotional truth about Kozlowski that made everything else make sense suddenly. And I wanted to really reveal that emotionally.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
And now on the flip side of that, the hardest episode to work on.
I would say the Old English was like, from a
The
technical
King
point
Arthur
of
one.
view, yes, King Arthur, to speak a language that we don't speak and make it sound natural and make it, yeah, to put the emphasis in the right words and make it seem conversational and natural, whilst being loyal to the language itself and like honoring that. It was tricky. Very enjoyable, but like it felt like a workout.
To be fair, I think even when I talked to Alan about it, he said that was a pain to do because it's just
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
was you two having to read it through and be like, okay, this is hard.
yeah,
I'm also a little bit surprised that, considering how much we've talked about it, it's not the Marie Antoinette one, which is basically you as a pirate.
yeah. I mean, I think I admitted defeat pretty early on in that recording. Within 10 minutes, it was obvious that like
Just
I'm
like
just gonna let
let
this
Alan do all
one
the talking, and
go.
I'm talking
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We can't, you know,
Okay. Now we're just going to generic. The toughest role you've ever played.
the toughest role. I played a Syrian prisoner, and it was an immersive theater, so people were up
Oh
close
wow.
and personal with me. And I remember before the first performance, I remember trying to get into the character, and I just connected to how dark and bleak his situation was. And he was a political prisoner, totally innocent guy, and imprisoned totally. I was fully naked with a piece of rag on me. Uh,
Really? Oh my god.
yeah, and I was like, I can't emotionally fully embrace this character because I can go mad if I do that.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep a bit of distance because I am. It's a long run, and I don't want to.
But I mean, were there nerves also in the sense that you just had being naked or in immersive theater was like people kind of sit next to you and like be real next to you. And like, was it just like a role where it's like you were glad to do it, but it's just like I'm never doing that again.
I thought whether I would want to do it again, and then it was invited for a festival in Brazil, so we had to do it all over again.
Oh my
Funnily enough.
god.
Um, but no, I think once I created that distance a little bit, it became easier.
Okay, fair enough.
Actually, I did get to enjoy the interaction with the audience.
The flip side of that, the easiest role you have ever played.
Mamma Mia, I would say.
But really? Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, there wasn't much text to talk about. I mean, in all fairness, we were um, kind of background artists that were there all every day and were in all the numbers, but it was a lot of fun and it was with a lovely group of people and we were kind of there weren't any lines to speak, to be honest. I think maybe that's why.
I mean, have you seen Mamma Mia and pointed yourself out where you are?
I haven't pointed, but people kept going, nudging me next to me, going, "Oh, here you are, here you are." I'm like, "Yeah, I know where I am."
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because we alluded to too much that you don't listen to yourself often. Do you not watch yourself?
Not really. I just find it really cringy, and because I think I know what my process is and what I'm trying to achieve, I feel like I'm looking at my own tricks.
Ah.
And I
Well, I mean,
sometimes do that with other actors too. I go, I know your tricks. I've seen a lot of your films and I know your tricks and I can see it. And I feel like I do that to myself too. So I'd rather avoid it if I can.
Wow. I mean, props to you. I would always think that's a bit harder, especially with a voice actor, whereas like, especially with a media project where, like you said, 50 times, it's just you in the it's just you by yourself, where you at least have to send it off to yourself. So you do have to listen to yourself at some point.
A little bit, just to make sure. But Pip is very generous in that I can send him wrong takes or bad takes, so I don't have to take those out. I sometimes do if it's been a massive cock up, but I tend to not. So I try to avoid it as much as I can. It's that
Uh,
thing when you hear your voice, you go, "Is this how I sound? Really? Is this how I talk?"
oh,
So
to be fair, I understand that too, but I also just be like, whenever I'm editing a video or like editing a show, I'm just thinking like, let's just get this as fast as possible.
yeah,
I don't have to watch myself.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
luckily with these things, I'm not the main focus. That'd be you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um. Okay. Uh. Moving on. This can be Amelia or generic. Favorite line or monologue you remember saying?
I really like the first line I ever said, which is something along the lines of on Amelia Project. Well, hello there, and that's the end of the like. I like that cliffhanger. I love that introduction of a character. He comes out of the body bag, and the CIA agents think that he's dead, and he's not. Um, I think that's such a brilliant way to introduce a character and the season. I just love that. It's so charismatic.
I love that. Okay. This one is just Amelia in general, and I apologize because we talked about this a little bit before, but I'll give yourself a top three. Top three favorite episodes.
Ooh. I really love The Man with Many Faces.
That's a good one.
That's kind of the first time we delve into the history of it, his story.
Yes, yes. The first one was like alluding that maybe he's not.
Yeah, there's more to this than, and
Yeah.
it turns out to be not accurate, or is it accurate? How accurate? Um, I love the glass harmonica. Is it glass harmonica? The Italian episode,
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the one where it's like the weird glass
glass
musician that like,
instrument.
yeah,
And
that could.
I recorded that with Eugenia Caruso, who is a good friend of mine, and we did a play together. So I really enjoy that. And I love that mystic Italian element. I'm a big Italy fan. So I just loved the kind of shadowiness of it all. And there's a prophecy in it that I don't have the answer to. So every now and then I prod them, but obviously knowing that it's going to be revealed when it's going to be revealed. And I really like in season one, there's a politician episode. It's so silly. I'm terrible with episode names, or names in general, but
Oh no, I know what you mean. It's
I
like
think,
the one that's alluded to at the Monster Raven Looney Party, where it's like he
yeah,
has the
that's it.
long-winded name.
That's
Where it's like
it. Was
I know what you mean, but I can't remember off the
it
top of my head.
was so silly.
Oh, maybe if I can like.
And I remember like genuinely laughing out loud on the street, and it had all my attention, and it was just like just wonderful. And I remember thinking, how do they come up with this?
No, I was trying to find it. I can't. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll give you mine for the hell of it, just to join in
Yes,
a bit.
please.
I like I think it's called Jack, where it alludes to
The
Jack the
Ripper, Jack the Ripper.
yeah, that one.
Yes.
Just because I mean also the character that becomes the person is like I'm a favorite of that. I'm a book reader of that.
Mhm.
Another one of yours particularly, I think, is the James Avery one,
Yes.
where it's just like alluding
His
to like
advice.
you chopping up corpses and then be like, they signed the contracts, they're good. And I think is I can't remember the name of it, but it's like it's like it's the Greek. It's like a very old one where it's like you're in Rome. It's like I'm trying to remember what it is, but it's like it's one that has like the choir, the group behind the guys like behold,
Is that
that
Babylon
one.
episode?
I can't. Hold on, I'm not getting.
Oh,
It's gonna drive me absolutely insane if I don't at least goddamn look it up myself.
sorry,
Aeschylus,
you
that's it.
got cut off a little bit, so I'm wondering if you meant Death in Babylon, maybe.
That one I do like, but no, I found it. It's called Aeschylus.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Behold, Aeschylus. It's just like the choir just being
Yes,
absolutely
yes,
annoying to me.
yes. That
Okay.
was a lot of fun to record.
Yeah. Sorry, that my brain just could not do it without anything
Of
else.
course. No, I mean, even mine. I'm gonna check the politician episode, actually. I would love to.
I'm trying to find it myself. My brain's just being like, where is it? Because it's a long, stupid name.
Mm, yes, exactly. Well,
It's not. It's going to be so annoying because we're not going to have much time left. Ah, damn it! I'm just gonna. No, I'm just going to have to go to
I
my
think
final
it
question.
was. Oh, there we go. Bartholomew Beep Face Chuckle Pants Knucklecracker.
That's it. Well done. Oh my god, I'm glad we got that out of the
That's
way.
it.
And
With
okay,
Felix Trench, of course.
yeah. And just last question on the top of the head: that favorite play you've ever done?
Um, I have to say, Fawlty Towers, it's so boring. I mean,
Well
I
done.
also really
I was
loved
going to be like
Romeo.
that would be very weird if you didn't.
Yeah, La Cage aux Folles was also fantastic. What a brilliant experience that was. Romeo and Juliet was a lot of fun. So
No,
I,
no, but you
I
just
mean, for me, it's always about the cast. If the cast is lovely and we're getting on,
no,
and
but I get it. Stick to the guns, your guns, and do the one that you're in.
promote that one.
Well, that is the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Hemi, thank you so much for being a part of this
Thank
show.
you,
It's been
Chris.
absolutely
Thank
fantastic
you for
talking to you
having me.
guys. If you listen to this live, well done. If you want this, if you want to watch this, remember there's a whole batch of episodes to listen to on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you so much. Oh God, things about to happen. Nearly there. But guys, thank you so much, and please, Hemi, let everyone know where can they find you.
You mean on tour in Fawlty Towers?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant,
Yeah, well,
Chris?
yeah, just essentially that's what you were doing. Yeah, just to give
Yes,
people a sense of that's
exactly.
where you
I'm
were.
I'm on tour until August with Fawlty Towers. That's the main
Fantastic.
main thing.
I, I'm going to end it here before Zoom decides to kill us all for us. So
Yes.
thanks so much everyone listening. Remember, guys, find me on like Instagram and YouTube, also on Audio Alchemy on Spotify, YouTube with us. I'll see you guys next time with a brand new guest and brand new fan. But apart from that, guys, thanks so much for joining us. See you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.